We are live. Hi, everyone. It's Karen and Neil, Private Label University. Welcome. Always before we start any webinar, we want to make sure that everyone can hear us and see us because I know there's a little bit of a delay. We are live, so we want to make sure that it is a great experience for you. So if you can, in the chat box, so you'll have some commands either at the top of your screen or over to the side. I believe it's on your right-hand side. You'll see chat if you want to click there and just type in us. And if you'd like to share with us where you're from, that would be wonderful too. That would be great. So we will wait for that so that we can make sure that everyone can hear us and give some people some time to get onto the webinar, and then we will start. It's funny, when I watch the replay, I look like a bad Chinese movie here. My lips are moving, not with my voice. So hopefully you guys, hey Sailor, hopefully you guys will, you guys see me talking and my lips are moving with the way
they're supposed to be moving. And I mentioned in our earlier webinar that if you see my head turning over here, it's only because we have multiple screens here in computers, and so I'm looking and checking, monitoring as well. So I'm not being rude and looking away, but I'm checking all the other screens. And we had a webinar this morning. We had two different times going on just because, you know, the time zones and stuff. So you might also hear Mozart, our Saint Bernard is here with us, of course, and he loves to snore through our webinars. Ray saying not a great connection. Okay. What I suggest is, how about you might need to refresh your screen. Sometimes that helps. And make sure you turn off any other electronics or any other screens that are open, as that will definitely cause some disruption. So try that. Let's see how that is working for you. Sailor says, yes, we can hear you. And yeah, we're doing great tonight. It's a little chilly in Colorado, lots of snow. We were hit with some snow, but all great. And you can see we have Kim here, a photo of Kim here, who's going to be joining us later. And we're really excited because she's going to share with all of you her experience that she had when she went to the Canton Fair and training with us. So, a bit of a delay. Okay, so yes, there is a bit of delay. When you go live, we do have a bit of delay going on. So hopefully we will catch up and you guys will still get value on that. So just to go over a little bit of some housekeeping here. If you look at the screen either on top or over to your right, you'll see there's a chat. That's a great place to post questions. We're going to do a Q&A after we do a little bit of a presentation here, but post your questions in there, and then we're going to go through them and we're going to answer the questions directly. So it's a great place to put your questions in. And what happens is, I always say, when something comes up, go in and post it, because I don't know, if you're like me, I always forget what the question was. So this way it's there, link to it. Any other thing, if it's kind of slow or you're losing connection, you might want to refresh, and we will go from there. Yeah, and if anything happens during, just kind of send us a message, message us that there's further delay or it's not coming through, and we'll just pause for a second to make sure everyone is up to date and everyone is getting a clear. And we have a moderator on as well, so they'll notify us if there's something. But and you know how tech savvy we are, so bear with us, especially when you're live. It takes it's a little learning curve, I guess, for all of us to, you know, it takes time to bring up screens and stuff. So perfect. So why don't, I know people are just getting on, but I don't want to delay you because I know it's evening for a lot of you, and for the people overseas, it's very early morning, right? Very early morning. So without further ado, why don't we get started? So I'm going to share my screen. So just give me a few seconds and I will pull up my screen. Okay.
So you guys should be able to see my screen. So I'm going to ask you for another big, huge favor. If you can just type into the chat box that, yes, you can see my screen. So just let me know. You should see the very first screen. If you see the screen, just type in, yes, I see this screen. And then, of course, we can get started. I just want to make sure you guys aren't missing anything. Perfect. All right. Perfect. Perfect. So we are going to go ahead. Perfect. So welcome. Now, this is really a webinar that we put together based on requests from our last Facebook Live. So we're really excited to be presenting and sharing with you about China and about why not going to China may be preventing you from making millions on Amazon. And this is literally what it's like. I mean, we're going to literally jump right into what you came here for. So it's kind of like a no BS zone. We want to make sure that, you're here and we're giving you exactly what you came for, which is the secret weapon to top Amazon sellers' success. And really just kind of jumping in, how are these Amazon sellers making a ton of money? Well, it's through private label. When you private label a product, it's so different than doing any of the other business models like retail arbitrage or wholesale arbitrage. And I'm going to have Neil actually kind of jump in and talk to you a little bit about what private labeling is about.
Right. And private labeling really it's the bread and butter of making your business even more successful. And truly what it is, it's basically just taking your label and putting it on a product. It's not rocket science. I've been doing it for over 35 years. And really the secret is just taking that great product that you found or you've sourced and putting your label on it. And really that's the ultimate goal that everyone should try to achieve in the physical product industry. You can do all the type of arbitrage that you want, but private labeling is the key to be extremely successful and extremely profitable. And what's great about private labeling is you're in full control. You're in control of the price. You're in control of the marketing, having the exclusive works of whatever you're producing, and basically the results of what's going to happen. You control the destiny of the product. You're controlling the brand. You're controlling on how much you're going to import, how much you're going to sell. You're, again, as I mentioned, controlling the price and profit, the longevity of selling the product, which means you have full control over your future income of that product. And that's why people are becoming more and more successful learning about private labeling, because that is the key, especially on the online selling platforms, to be successful.
And maybe we could talk just a little bit about the business models of retail arbitrage and wholesale arbitrage, because, what I'm finding is there are total newbies becoming top Amazon sellers and making a ton of money on Amazon. And yes, they're doing it through private label. But I want to talk a little bit, if you can, about retail arbitrage and wholesale arbitrage, Neil, if that's okay. And just
Sure.
Talk about how there's so many restrictions that are going on with Amazon and why those models, however you can make money with, are just not long-term, and why private labeling is kind of the way to go.
Well, with, of course, the success of Amazon and even eBay and other platforms, they were based on people just selling products. With Amazon being books, being used books, being CDs, being DVDs. And everyone thought, well, I have books around the house. I can buy books. There's lots of booksellers. They just jumped on selling products. So that being retail arbitrage. Then it jumped into wholesale arbitrage, where some of them were a little more savvy and reached out to some of the manufacturers, some of the distributors, and said, hey, I'd like to sell your products. Now, for the distributors and the manufacturers, like, great, we're just going to sell more. And when they saw it happening, again, the retail arbitrage and wholesale arbitrage. But with more restrictions and more changes happening, Amazon, other online platforms are seeing that we're going to limit this. We don't want as many people selling name brand products. We have these big sellers, or we have distributors, and we have other merchants who do wholesaling. We're going to just stick with them, and all the other people who are involved, we're going to slowly cut them out. And so what's happening is people who see that now, see the writing on the wall, and we're trying to preach that and saying, private label products. If you're very successful with a product that's already doing well, which is a retail arbitrage product, then you can do it with other products, but you've got to build up that brand awareness.
Mm-hmm. And especially with all the restrictions with Amazon, it's not a great long-term process of building a business that's going to be sustainable. So that's why when you see a lot of these newbies becoming these top Amazon sellers and making a ton of money, it's really through private labeling. So here's a study that we had found. It was from 2016, which was just here. And Neil, maybe you want to talk about that.
Sure. And so this simple graph shows how much money is being made by private labeling. So according to Amazon, there's over 2 million sellers worldwide, and it accounts for over 40% of the total units sold on Amazon. And it shows here that 54% are making up to $100,000 per year, private labeling. 54%, and that number is growing. And so the key here is that people have already realized that that is the way to make money. And there are sellers making way more than that, millions and millions of dollars, because they know the best opportunity for them for long term is private labeling.
Mm-hmm. And you can look at even here up to, even $1 million, 37%. I mean, that's amazing. That is a huge amount. And that number is getting larger and larger because a lot of people are turning to private labeling. So why are the stats important to you?
Of the 3 physical product business models, there's retail arbitrage, wholesale arbitrage, and private labeling. Private labeling is growing super fast.
And the myth that you need a lot of money to private label products is just not true.
And of course, you don't need an MBA to private label. Anyone and everyone is starting to do it, but the key is learning how to do it properly.
And you're going to hear in a bit my story, and if I can do it, anyone can do it. So we are the Private Label University. For those of you who are new to us, we created the Private Label University as a place for like-minded product entrepreneurs to come together and learn about our 60-year-old private label system that we have been using for over 3 decades to private label products for some of the largest chain stores in North America. And it's a place where we all speak the same language and where we all share and we network and we grow together better businesses and create products that change lives. And it's such a great place to really, when I say we all speak the same language, it's so true. Like how many times if you spoke to someone and you throw words like FBA or private label or sourcing or importing, they just kind of have this like, deer in headlights, right? We all speak the same language and it's about supporting. We have a lot of experience. We know how successful this business could be, and we want to share that with you. Then that's what the great thing is about Private Label University. So if you're not actually, I'm just going to kind of plug our Facebook group here. If you're not already a member of our private group, Private Label University for Amazon and eBay sellers, it's a private group on Facebook. You definitely want to head over there after the webinar and join our group. It's a great group and there's tons of information. We post tons of videos there. We do our Facebook Lives, everything there. So we welcome you over there.
And that's me, Neil Gwartzman. I've been in the business for over 35 years. My start actually was in the retail entity. I was actually sourcing, manufacturing, designing products for retail chain stores, some ones that I'm sure everyone is familiar with, places like Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michaels, Aaron Brothers. Those are stores that I created, I sourced products for. I'm still doing that today. And private labeling was the key. What I taught a lot of these, not just retail stores, but also buying groups of what they need to do for the future. And I was working with so many companies, not just nationally, but internationally. And they would hire me to go overseas. I've been going and sourcing in Asia since the early 80s. My father, who developed a formula 60 years ago, he's 90 years old today, and he's still using this formula to import and source products. And of course, I've taken this formula and I've put it into a program and worked with Karen. And that's what we still today use ourselves and teach people and entrepreneurs how to be successful in business. And I'm still sought after today by many, many companies who say, we want to learn how to import, we want to learn how to find products, we want to learn the whole process of doing it. And the key is doing it properly, efficiently, and knowing, again, what to look for. So that's me, and that's a little product that I actually love to hold up during presentations.
So I'm Karen, for those of you who are don't know who I am. And yes, Neil and I are a husband and wife team, and at times that can be quite challenging. However, we love working together. My story is not as colorful as Neil's. I didn't start private labeling products till about 18 years ago while looking after our young kids. I was a full-time stay-home mom, a new mom at the time, and we had just moved here from Canada into the States, and I wasn't working. But we needed an extra income coming in. So I had an idea about creating a private label brand of bags. So of course, being married to the guru and someone who's been doing this for so long, I asked Neil to teach me the system, teach me how to do it. And sure enough, he did. And I launched my first business, private labeling bags, which was really exciting. And like I said earlier, if I can do it, trust me, anyone can do it. It's so easy. It's just about following a system, really, and learning the system and the steps that are involved, and then just implementing them. And it was great. And Neil helped me with all that. So like I said, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So what's the game plan for tonight? Well,
why looking for products on online sites like Alibaba is costing you a ton, not just of money, but of time. And really the top sellers are not looking there.
And we're going to talk about this tonight. We're going to talk about that. As well, we're going to talk about how to put more money in your pocket at the end of the day.
And what you need to do to take action right now that will save you a ton of money and time in your business. And what do we call it?
The Panda Express model.
That's right.
So is this webinar for you?
So if you're already selling products, retail arbitrage, wholesale arbitrage, or private labeling, and not making enough money, this webinar is definitely for you.
If you're spending too much time looking for products to sell on Amazon and you're ready to get the job done fast, then this webinar is for you.
And if you're ready to take action and find products that will make money and do it live with the real gurus with over 3 decades of private labeling experience, then this webinar is definitely for you.
So let's jump into the first part here. Why looking for products on online sites like Alibaba is costing you a ton more time and money. Like Neil had said, top sellers are not looking here. Retailers are not looking here. They're not looking on Alibaba for products. So let's jump in and talk a little bit about what that means and a little bit about Alibaba.
So for those who aren't familiar with Alibaba, and I'm sure most people are, but Alibaba, and I'll mention AliExpress, these are basically giant retail catalogs. These are companies right across Asia, Southeast Asia, Malaysia, India. Now you have actually even parts of Europe are starting to advertise on there, and you really don't know who's on the other side. And it's basically, it could be your brother-in-law, it could be the neighbor, it could be the warehouse, it could be a factory, trading companies, agents. I could go on, people showing products. I may know a guy who's making spatulas down the street or who has a brother-in-law who does spatulas, and I'm going to list it and put a price on it. So, even with Skype these days, it can become very confusing when someone Skypes and you think you're reaching the manufacturer, and it's some guy who's, renting in a cafe a room in the back and saying, sure, I'm the manufacturer. You don't know. The other big problem is tons of competition. So what happens is if millions and millions of people are looking on Alibaba, that's millions of competitors. And so you really have to be aware of that. And the same thing with AliExpress. AliExpress is one giant retail catalog. So it's way too much competition. So here's the big problem. Alibaba equals you're paying higher prices, way too much competition, and too much time wasted going on and on and on, literally just looking for products. So you want to make sure that you're going to solve these problems. When you're working with Alibaba, you don't know if they're a manufacturer. They may say they are, but you really don't know. Quality, price, new products, the trends. A lot of times products that are be showing on Alibaba could be last year's models and not the newest products. You don't know if the person's going to be around. Maybe they're showing that product under a certain name, and then 3 weeks from now, before you sent your money, and you're not going to get your product because they've gone out of business or it's being held in customs. So there's a lot of question marks when dealing with Alibaba. Now, again, it is a quick reference guide for looking and trying to see what products are, but it really isn't the long-term way of doing business.
You just have to be cautious when you're using Alibaba. And like I said, top Amazon sellers, the big retailers, they're not using Alibaba. We don't use Alibaba either when we're looking for our products as well. And one of the big reasons is because suppliers are charging up to 60% more for products. And why are they?
Because they can.
Because they can, exactly. We actually were at the Canton Fair in April, and we actually interviewed one of our manufacturers, the manufacturer that we deal with. And we were talking with them, and we asked right out, do you sell on Alibaba? And she said, yes, we actually do sell on Alibaba. And we asked, are the prices the same? Because then, I'm here, out in China, and are the prices the same? And her response were they charge 60% more for their products. Imagine 60% more. So if you're shopping for products on Alibaba, then you're paying a lot more than if you were to be working directly with the manufacturer directly in China. But we're going to get to that in a second. Let's jump into this product here, because Neil and I we did a little test on Alibaba, and this is a product that we actually know the manufacturer and have dealt with the manufacturer, and we know this company as well. And the great thing was we thought, okay, let's do a little test by working with Alibaba and see how prices compare and see if this is like, a true case of looking for a product, going to Alibaba and comparing prices. So Neil, why don't you talk a little bit about our little experiment that we did?
Sure. So as Karen mentioned, we know this manufacturer, where it comes from and who's advertising it, and we see it on Amazon for $17.99. And this is a basic 12-piece acrylic paint set, 12 mil tubes, standard product manufactured in China. And again, I happen to know the factory that actually manufactures this product. So as Karen said, we thought we'd do a little test and went on to Alibaba and thought, okay, let's see what we can find that is similar to what seems to be the manufacturer or the trading company connected with this manufacturer. And of course, we went to Alibaba, and this is when it comes up. And there's a number of companies and trading companies and agents that come up. And it shows that here's a Craftsmart 12-color acrylic paint set. Same product, different package. I actually know this company as well. And of course, a lot of these companies private label for many, many sellers and agents and trading companies. So I reached out to this specific supplier because it said $1.51. And so looking on Amazon at a $17.99 price, I thought, wow, that's a great markup. The MOQ, or the minimum order quantity, was advertised at 500 sets. The place of origin in Shandong. So I was very familiar with where it was coming out of logistically, and I thought, let's reach out to this company. So I contacted this company, sent all the standard questions that I would normally ask about MOQs and production time and price. And this is a response I got. And this was an immediate response. It took actually a few days. So I was wondering why the delay. It wasn't just the time. It happened to be what I thought, again, agent or trading company who weren't answering right away. So the quantity of 500 sets, they immediately told me, is not what they can do. And it said, unless there's going to be repeat business, what my annual quantity is going to be, all of a sudden, a lot of red flags come up. So they couldn't actually do what they were advertising. And also, my communication back and forth every time I'd send them another email was sometimes 1 or 2 days. Actually, it took almost, it was almost 11 days. It hit the 10th day I got most of the answers I needed, but that was a lot of time wasted. So I knew this wasn't the manufacturer. And then, of course, the OEM requirements. I wanted this product private labeled so I can make the most money. And then they're saying, well, if you're going to do that for full private labeling and full box requirements, 20,000 sets were the requirement. And then they started getting a little, we can do 3,000 sets, but the tube is going to be with their name, not the box. And then for the 500 sets, the current tubes, it would be with their name, extra plate fees for the color boxes. And so they started to really add on and tack everything on. And the lead time to produce was 20 days. Now, it took 10 days for them to get me all my answers. Then it was going to be another 20 days. So I knew this was going to be a long process and I would be losing money. And my worst fear was I wouldn't get what I actually wanted, because I have seen people take pictures in factories where this is what you're going to get. Maybe it was they made up a box, but then of course the box is coming from a different supplier because they're not a packaging company. And it was just, this is what I don't want to see. Now, once we tacked on all the costs, from the MOQs to the shipping costs to the air costs to the plate fees, it was almost landed in about $12, not including my FBA fees. So with my FBA fees, I was going to make $1 or $2. We started, really nailing it down where, okay, if we cut this out, if we use this different shipping company, and really ways to keep the cost down, we brought it down to $9. We still added in our FBA fees, and it still brought it up. So going through all this work and all this process to make just $2 or $3, and then investing in all this private labeling for this brand where I don't know who my competition is further down the road. I can see all these other people selling a similar set, but if they're bringing in container loads, then of course they have a bigger profit margin. So again, the time I wasted going through this, and this was just, I had the time because I wanted to see what the results were going to be. It really wasn't worth it in the end. So I knew, let me jump to something else, to private label. So if you really know your costs, then you can make your decision. And I know what the real costs are. I worked on these products. I've worked in this industry long enough, so I know what the actual cost of these items are and what it actually costs to buy them and get it here efficiently. So I guess the key is, for anyone, if you only knew everything that I've known, then of course you could save yourself a lot of money. And this is what I tell companies all the time.
If you only knew. Right? So if you knew you were going to be paying higher prices for products on Alibaba, right? Or if you knew you were about to spend a ton more time just looking for products, and I'm talking months.
So would you want to do something about it? If you only knew that you were leaving all this money on the table, and I mean a lot of money, what would you want to do? You'd have to do something about it.
Exactly. I know we would, and we do. We do not source or buy from Alibaba, and for those particular reasons. And we're not interested in wasting months sourcing for the same products that everyone else is sourcing for. People are going on to Jungle Scout and kind of finding products and then jumping onto Alibaba, sourcing out suppliers, and then going through that. I'm not interested in wasting months doing that for the same product that 2 million other sellers are doing the exact same thing. Because firstly, we have a family, and I don't like to take time away from them. I want to have as much free time as I can possibly have so I can be with them. This is my why. This is our why. We have an incredible family that we want to spend our time with. And I'm sure you've heard before in our webinars, this is our business mantra. Neil, why don't you read our mantra?
Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time.
And that's so true. You can always get more money, but you cannot get more time. And time is so important. So let's jump into the second part of the game plan. How to put more money into your pocket at the end of the day. Who doesn't want that, right? Well, you need to understand money and where you should be spending it.
You have to know products that you can buy for a low price. Very, very important. You have to know that products that are new to the market and follow a trend, products that have good quality, and of course you need reliable suppliers. And to do all of this fast before someone else does it before you. Again, Alibaba is not the place that top sellers are doing this, as well as the top retailers. They're not going to Alibaba.
Which takes us to the next part. Really, how do you do this, right? What do you need to do to take action right now that will save you a ton of time and money in your business? And we call it the Panda Express model. And it's really, really easy. This is it. You need to go directly to the source. You need to go to China. And this is the Panda Express model to finding products. So Neil, let's talk about the Panda Express model. What is the Panda Express model? It means
getting on a plane, making that small investment in your business, and of course, finding products that other people are not selling, And then building those reliable relationships, very important. And of course, stop wasting time and start making money. So what is the secret? It is go directly to China and work directly with the manufacturers and suppliers there.
And we get it. We know it may seem scary because a lot of you have no idea what to do when you get there. You think it may cost too much. You don't have the time that you can possibly get away. This is a common thing that we hear. Or you don't want to do it alone. So whatever the reason, you have to ask yourself, is this a true reason or is it an excuse? Because we hear this a lot, and we're going to show you that this is actually should not be holding you back. We've created the Private Label University live event in China for you, so that you can find products to private label live in China in less than 7 days. Less than 7 days. Think about that. Think of how much time you've probably already spent looking for products. You're going to be able to do this in less than 7 days, and not only find products, find reliable suppliers, find the best prices, find everything that you need. So this is really, really important that you can do this in less than 7 days, all that time that you're going to be saving.
And we see, we speak to clients every single day who spend hours and months. And we've actually spoken to clients who have spent almost a year on Alibaba trolling for products. And they get frustrated because, again, they finally, after 6-7 months, they find a product and they see it's too competitive or they're not going to make any money. And so what do? They keep going back on Alibaba and searching on AliExpress. And it becomes just, they fall into that trap and they can't climb out of it. And we say the only way to get out of it is to go to China. You're going to see new products, get lower pricing, and get things done quickly because you're not spending weeks and months searching for products.
And that's the key. You got to get on there with it before someone else does. All those other people contact, or find something. I mean, that's the key. So the key for us to do this live event, the reason why we created this live event was because we're going to make sure that you have the right tools and skills to do this when you get there, so that you feel less stressed knowing that you're not leaving money on the table. We don't want you to waste time on looking for products that everyone else is looking for. Right? And we want you to spend time doing the things that you love. And I'm sure sourcing online at home is not doing something that you love when you could be doing something else, right? So the great thing is you don't have to do it alone. You're going to have us to support you, the Private Label University, to support you while you're in China. So let's chat a little bit about what the live event is about, because this is why we're all here, right? To learn about the event. So the event is in China at the Canton Fair. Neil, why don't you talk a little bit about the Canton Fair?
Sure. The Canton Fair, of course, is the largest trade fair in the world with over 60,000 vendors. It's held in Guangzhou, China, and it's been going on since 1957. And the show really does have that many vendors. It's everyone in Asia are showing products there. And the best thing is, the reason why it's held twice a year, because of course they want to get the most business and they're there to do business and they want your business. They want to meet with people that are selling products, people who are looking for new products. And the fair itself is actually broken down into 3 phases. There's phase 1, 2, and 3. And within each of those phases, there are slightly different categories. And so what they do is they break it down from appliances, automotive, motorcycles, medicine products, food products, apparels, textiles, really everything and everything that's made. Bicycles is at the fair. And the fair is held twice a year, April and October. So they call them the spring and the autumn fairs. And this way, it allows people to plan their year. They're bringing in a product. They're going to launch a product. They know that in April, they're coming out with the products for Christmas. So they're able to launch them. And people in Christmas or in October are showing products that they can launch for summer products. So they really know that you're coming there, especially for a reason. And that reason is to do business. And that's why they're there to show new products and offer you low pricing, because they want the business. And here's a little layout of the fair, and it's called the Paozhou Complex. And as you can see, it looks small here on the map, but it's very extensive. These are individual buildings. So you can see the 13, 14, 15, 16 buildings. And within each building, there's multiple levels. Some will go actually up to 6 floors. And on each floor, there are thousands and thousands of vendors. And then it extends outside of it where you have other vendors showing. So it's an amazing place to really see everything and really focus in on within that time frame to see all the products. And so, I've been going to the fair for a very long time. First Canton Fair was 1989. I was actually invited by the Chinese government. I've also been invited by the fair to judge certain areas. And when I was going to the fair, it actually was a little more complicated because it wasn't held in one complex. It was divided up in parts of the city. So in different hotels, if I wanted to see from kitchenware, I'd have to go to a different hotel, and they'd have the whole main floor and different levels of the hotel with vendors. Even vendors would be renting out hotel rooms. I'd have to go to a different complex. You'd have to go to different streets where they'd be renting out buildings and looking for floors. And it was actually quite complicated, but spending so much time at the fair for so many years, I was able to navigate and really have a plan for it. And the main thing was the prices were so low. I have this wonderful story because I remember, I think it was the first time actually I was there. Again, I was entertained by the government. I was taken to a lot of places, attended the fair. And I had some companies contact me. They knew I was going to be there, and they said, this is what we need. See if you can find it. And one of them happened to be a particular item that was going into one of the largest stores for hardware materials. And they sent me the price, what they were paying from a very large importer in North America. And I had this picture. I knew what it would cost. And I remember walking down an aisle, and I saw something similar. And I walked in, and in my broken Mandarin, I asked the person what the price was for the product. And they quoted me 75 cents. And I said, well, that is per piece, because they were showing me a box set. And they said, no, that's for the set. And I walked out of the booth, and I thought, this must be a mistake. And I found someone who was there who worked there, and I said, you have to, maybe I'm not saying in correct English, you have to check the price of this item because it doesn't make sense. That must be per piece, not per set. I went back, we talked again, and it was for the set. It was 75 cents. This item is selling in the US for $19.99. The customer in the US would buy hundreds of thousands of these sets a year, and it cost them $3.45. And it was 75 cents. So by the time I made it to the end of the walkway where there were other vendors showing similar products, I had 2 or 3 other companies approach me and saying, oh, if you're interested in that product, we also manufacture that similar product. And they have almost identical packaging. And the price came down to, it was like 52 cents. So 52 cents selling for $19.99, that is some great profit. So the key here was I found multiple companies who could make that product, and the price was incredible. So that is why, I remember walking out of there, my head was ready to explode. I couldn't believe it because that was the margins. They were very happy, the company in the States, making incredible margins, but when I was going to offer these pricing, they just wouldn't be able to believe it. So it was a great opportunity for me to learn back in the late 80s, actually, how business was being done. So the big question is the fair the place for you? Are you looking to find products that haven't hit the market?
Are you looking for better pricing?
Most important, finding those reliable suppliers. And of course, do you want access to one-stop buying show, a place where everything is? It's Alibaba on steroids, and it's live.
Mm-hmm. And are you looking at stop wasting time and start making money? Because then if you are and you answer yes to all these questions, then the fair is definitely for you. Because like Neil said, that was back then. It's even bigger now, 60,000 vendors. It's amazing. So how to attend? Well, we have open registration right now to our live event in China at the Canton Fair. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what that is. So let's walk through a little bit about what the event entails. The date for April is April 20th to the 27th, and we are going to give you literally full days of training in the classroom and then live right in the fair. And no one does this. I mean, there's nothing like this out there. We're going to actually teach you a ton of stuff in the classroom, and then we're going to start and we're going to implement it right there with you in the fair. Now, before you go on the trip to the event, we are going to give you a one-on-one call so that we can get you ready and prepared so that you're coming with ideas and that, you know, you're ready, you know what to do. So this event is really going to walk you through before, during, and after the fair. So let's jump into like day one. So you're going to arrive, and then we're going to have, you're going to get into your hotel and get all kind of, you know, ready. And then we're going to have a meet and greet. So everyone's going to get together. It's going to be a, like a networking event. We're all going to meet each other and do like a little bit of a mastermind as well. We love masterminding and get to know everyone and just kind of come up with strategies and stuff. And then the next 2 days, we're going to jump right into the classroom, and we're going to do full days of learning, really what it is. And we're going to talk about how to get ready for the fair, how to prepare for the fair. We're going to talk about products and negotiating. I mean, you're going to be so prepared when you enter that fair. It's like you've been going for years. We are going to share with you our 60-year-old system to private labeling. So this is the same system that we've been using to private label products for the retail chain stores, and you're going to get all of that. And then day 4, we're going to walk in. We're going to go into the fair together. We're going to implement everything. We're going to show you what it's like. We're going to go into booths. We're going to do some demos. And then you're going to have an opportunity to do that as well, and we're going to help you through that. And then on the other days, you will be able to attend the fair at your own pace, where you're going to meet more suppliers and chat with ones you've already met and start negotiating deals and getting samples and all that fun stuff.
And the great thing you have to remember is we're there all the time. So we're at the show. So, you know, we've spoken to a lot of people who have gone in the past, and all of a sudden after the first day, they said, well, I didn't know what to do anymore. I got lost. I got frustrated. I went back to my room. I didn't want to go out again. We're there all the time to help you. So at any time, we're able to be contacted. Maybe we're in a different building, but we're always going to be accessible so you don't feel lost. And that way you can, again, you're going there to do business, and we want to make sure you're successful in doing so.
And that's one of the things I think that makes us stand out too. I mean, you're not just going and getting, you know, going to an event and then see ya. You're getting support before the fair. You're getting support during the fair and even after the fair. Like I said, we're going to do a one-on-one with you after so that, you know, you're not stuck. And that you keep that momentum going, right? We want to help you create that plan of action so that you can keep going. And then, of course, we have our private Facebook group where you can then ask questions. It's a great place to find us, and we can personally assist you through that as well. But it doesn't stop there, because we want you to have it all. We want you to not have to think about whether or not you should be attending with us, literally. Like, our students have had 100% success finding products at the fair and at the lowest prices. We are so confident that you will have success that we're literally giving you everything. We are going to be adding these amazing, amazing bonuses. So let's talk a little bit about bonuses. Firstly, you're going to be able to bring a guest for free. Yep, for free. So a partner or a spouse or, you know, a business partner, I mean, whoever, you're going to be able to bring someone for free. So you're not doing this alone. But wait, we have more. If you take action today, we are going to give you for free our Import Success Formula program. So this is valued at $14.97. If you pop over to our website, you can buy it for $14.97. And we're going to give this to you for free because we want you to be successful. This is over 50 training videos that are literally going to walk you through the private label process that we have been using for 3 decades, or over 3 decades, actually. It talks about everything from the start to the finish, about sourcing, packing, importing, launching, everything. And, you know, we show you how to launch on Amazon, how to market your products, the legal stuff, and you have it for a lifetime. And we add new videos all the time. So you're going to get that as a bonus for free. We want you to be successful. So we want to give you the tools to do it. It's not just about attending an event. This is about building a business. So what are the costs, right? That's what everyone wants to know. Just get to the costs. Well, here it is. It's $1,997, and you're going to get all the bonuses with that. So I'm going to actually put this up here so you can see that. And if you click on it, you'll be able to register right there. You can go right over and register for this. And again, you're getting all the bonuses. So we told you, we wanted this to be worth it for you. I mean, just our Import Success Formula program is the cost of the trip, right? Is the cost of it. So this is what you're going to be getting. You're going to get full access to the Private Label University live event in China, valued at $19.97. You're going to get full access to Neil and I, and we charge, just so you know, one for a VIP day, $10,000. You're going to get training and live implementation in the classroom and in the fair. You're going to get all the bonuses, which are the one-on-one call with Neil and I before the event and after the event, and that's valued at $385 each call. You're going to get Bring a Friend for free. So again, $19.97 for the program. And you're going to get full access to the Import Success Formula program, which is $14.97. So if you added up all those numbers, you're over $16,000, and all you're going to have to pay is $19.97. Pretty amazing, right? So all you have to do is click that button and register. So if all this event did was help you find a product that makes you, say, an extra $500 a week or more, help you find a supplier that you can trust, and that is hard, buy products at low prices, and give you more time to do the things that you love and stop wasting time sourcing on Alibaba, would it be worth it to you? Of course it would. All you have to do is just register and join us today. And yes, you're going to get all the bonuses. Now, just so you know, if you did not register for the webinar today, if you are not listening right now with us, you will not have access to the bonuses. So just so you know that Import Success Formula program is something we just kind of threw on for you because I think it's really, really important. I think it's going to give you every single thing that you need along the way. I mean, how many times have you maybe been to an event and you get so much information? This is just going to solidify everything. So you're going to get all those bonuses, which is really important.
And like Karen, and the great thing is you own that program. So you can always access, you come back from China, you forgot, oh, what did they mention about that? You just go back to the program. We're always talking about what we do. It doesn't change. Our formula that we use is consistent. Maybe there's some changes with Amazon here and there, but as far as following the formula of private labeling and importing that product and offering ideas to sell it, it's always going to be the same type of formula. And so the great thing is it's always there for you to access.
And we keep our group small so that you get Neil and I 100%. It's not just, us getting up and speakers getting up. It's like you get us. You're going to be able to be we're part of your business. We're all going to be together, working together. So that is key. And that's why we keep our group small so that we give you 100% of our time. And just so I should mention, I didn't put it here in the slides, but we are going to be closing registration in a couple of weeks because we got to get everyone prepared and we want to make sure we get your one-on-ones in as well. So once we fill up or registration time comes to a close, this is it. So and like I said, you may not have access to those bonuses. So I would recommend, if this is something you are absolutely thinking of, click the link and join us in our live event in China. I think it's really important. So I want you to meet Kim before we jump into questions, because we're going to head into questions in a couple of minutes here. And I want you to meet Kim because Kim came with us to our China event last April. And Kim found her second product the first day of the fair and launched a new brand on Amazon. And she's going to talk in a bit about her experience, especially never being to a foreign country, just starting a business on Amazon, and just about her experience. So before we do, I'm actually going to play a little testimonial from Kim, and then we will head into Kim talking about her experience, and then we'll jump into Q&A. So just give me 1 second to get this running.
I'm looking for specific products. My husband is here. He's looking for medical things. He's so overwhelming because it's so big. so many floors, so many things to see, so many categories, and I don't want to get what you call product overwhelm. He said, I'm not going to the fair. I'm going to stay in the room and study my medical stuff. And here he is sourcing. He said last night, you know what, now I understand you.
The way that Neil and Karen
and Neil know their stuff for real. It's amazing.
It's amazing. They know their stuff.
They do. Great success, amazing success. I found a product that I've never seen, that's not in the U.S., that I haven't seen in any other booths. I found it in one booth, and it is just the epitome of what I'm looking for. It's a little intimidating because you guys know so much, but you know, everybody had to start somewhere, and at some point they didn't know that stuff. So I figured if I just hang around you guys long enough, I'll learn it too. We didn't really know all of these people, and we left as family. The sky's the limit of what we can do.
Having a university that has changed my life, there has been a spirit of excellence the way that Neil and you, Karen, have done the conference, and now to have a certificate from Private Label University and to know how to go in and get a product, I am just ready to go. Thank you so much.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can everyone just write in the chat for a second if you can hear Kim? Just want to make sure you can hear her. So thank you for joining us. I love that testimonial because it was so true. I mean, you came to China with us, and I mean, you had no idea what to expect, and you were just starting, with the Amazon platform.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I had not even done Amazon. I had no products on Amazon. I wasn't really that familiar with selling on Amazon. But when I left that Canton fair, I left there with products. And when I got back, almost immediately, I got back and started selling those products on Amazon. I left with a ton of samples. So we had an extra suitcase that we took, and we brought a whole bunch of stuff back that they gave us. And I went there with a concept. And when I came back, I had a brand. And I now sell that on Amazon every month. It's just consistent sales on Amazon and also on my website. But, it was Neil and Karen that really helped me find what to do because I just had a concept. And once I got there, I mean, their expertise is unmatched. They know the area. They know this arena. They know the Canton Fair. They know how to trade with these people. They know the customs and the language. And it was just made it so much easier. And from a person that has gone there for the first time, I'll have to say that more than just a business trip, it was really an experience. Because you're there with people in the group that you're with, you spend time with them, you network with them, they're like-minded people. Really, when we left, we all became family, and there were people from other countries that were in our group, people from U.S. and other countries. And we had an amazing time. We eat together, we network together, we share stories and information. And my husband went with me. He had never sourced product. He didn't intend to source product. And he went there and he found some products that really resonated with him. And the next thing you know, now he's sourcing products as well. I mean, he didn't even expect to, but you find such great deals when you get there. I mean, I found products like Neil was talking about earlier that were under $1. I think one of my products was about 32 cents a piece. And I sell it for over $10 a piece here in the U.S. So there's really, really good profit margins in the products that we found, which makes it even better selling it on Amazon, on your website. And even I have some of my products that are in some stores, small stores and boutiques. So it was an amazing experience for me. And for those of you that are foodies, we went to all kinds of amazing restaurants. We did some great shopping. I mean, you don't want to go to China and not have a chance to shop. So, you do get a chance to take a break. You do get a chance to go shopping. You do get a chance to experience China while you're there. So don't think you're just going to spend all of your time inside a fair, a Canton fair with products, but you do get to experience China while you're there as well. So it really is, I call it an experience when anybody asks me about it, because I did a lot of business, but I also had a great, great experience. And it's just, they just make it, Karen and Neil have everything planned. They're great planners. They have checklists, 4 checklists. They make sure that you are all set. You won't be lost. You know, they keep you in line and help you find just what you need. So my experience was amazing. I can't wait to do it again. They made everything so easy for us. Yeah.
Kim, let me ask you, can you share with everyone kind of what your feeling was that first day at the fair, and then, you know, then how you felt, say the second or the third day of the fair?
Okay. Well, the first day of the fair, I was overwhelmed. It's just so many products. I just could not believe it. And there were so many interesting products and so many products that I had never seen before, and so many opportunities that I just didn't know where to start. There's just so much. And the beautiful thing about it is that we had interpreters with us that were business people that could help us know more about what we were looking for and help us find what we were looking for. And so I just pretty much browsed the entire show on the first day just to get the lay of the land. By the time the second day had come, I was more focused on what I wanted, and I knew exactly where to go to find it, because I had gotten an idea of where various things were. There are categories, and they're arranged by categories. And once I got the lay of the land on the second day, I found, you know, the majority of my products that I really needed for this brand that I was going to launch when I got back to the US. So, and then after that, it was just gravy. I was just looking for other products that I felt would be great opportunities. I mean, the hoverboard was there. I think Neil saw that 5 years before it became hot in the US. So you just don't know, you know? Yeah.
And that's the key. I mean, you could see products and then, you know, you say, oh, that kind of is an interesting thing. And then like 5 years later, that product is now in North America being sold. And you're like, see?
Yes.
Should have done something. Thank you, Kim.
You are welcome. It was an amazing, amazing opportunity. They're great.
So if anyone has any questions for Kim, not just for us, but for Kim as well, then please post in the chat because she's here to, you know, really give you, you know, we've been going. So this is an experience for someone who's, you know, that was their first time and to share with you. So if you have any questions for her, absolutely ask away. So we are going to, let's jump into actually Q&A. Let me just get my screen back up here and then we'll come back, Kim, if that's okay. Okay, perfect. So let me get my screen back up here. I'm trying to multitask here. Okay, I think it's has any questions, that would be great. Just you can post them in the chat. We're going to talk about a couple of questions that we actually got emailed over to us as well. But we do have a question here. Actually, it's for Kim. So Kim, if you want to put your mic back on, it says, Kim, have you done more than one product launch?
Actually, yes. I did do 2 brand launches. I had more than one product, but I have 2 brands. And so what I did was I grouped all of those products into a particular brand. One of my brands is called Closet Candy, and it incorporates a number of products that I found there. And I have another brand where I have those type products with that. So yeah, I launched 2 brands going to the Canton Fair.
I remember you actually being with you in an aisle and you screaming that your brand is now launched. And I was like, what? I mean, I remember you like doing that. You had like a launch dance. Do you remember?
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm going to do it again when I find my new brand. Yeah.
It's so funny. That is amazing.
Yeah. So with a concept. and I left with a brand. So.
Oh yeah, you came with a concept and you left with a brand. Absolutely, which is wonderful. And that's what that's why I say when we talk about 100% success. I mean, everyone who came and has come with us to these fairs and is planning on coming, you are going to see things you've never seen before. You're going to find products that you're going to want to get your hands on. We have had 100% success of people finding products and making relationships, building relationships with suppliers that you would not have been able to do on Alibaba.
Mm-hmm. And that's one reason why I've also been able to branch out into so many industries, because when I go to the show, even if I'm focused in one particular category, I may see something that I know there's a great opportunity because no one's jumped on it, and I jump on it. Even if it's for a short period, if it's for 1 year or 2 years, at least I do a lot of sales before anyone else has done it and make good money doing so.
Absolutely. I'm giggling over here with Ray's question. Is it common to travel light in order to be able to come back with samples? Oh my goodness. I have to tell you something. Absolutely. You don't have to travel light, but you definitely need another suitcase. I think every single person, Kim, I think you included, actually went out and bought another suitcase to bring back samples.
I sure did.
Yes,
I did that, and actually some of those samples I ended up selling them on Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, it was a good way to test.
Yeah, it's a great way to test.
It's a great way to test. So yes, Ray, absolutely yes. You definitely want it. And Neil has a really cool trick. He actually packs a suitcase within a suitcase so that when you get there, you have your extra suitcase. Me, I pack way too much stuff that I would be overweight if I had a suitcase in a suitcase. But it is a good trick.
Yeah, and I always come back with again, extra samples. And again, we teach people what to do, how to get the samples, because there are some booths that don't want to give away samples, but other ones that, again, if they know you're serious, they're going to make sure they come back with something. And if they know that you're going to be there for 3-4 days, they may say, okay, we're not going to have it today, but on the third day, we're going to have some samples for you.
And so we teach you what we call that the secret bargain. What you'll learn about in the Import Success Formula program when you get it, when you sign up. It works like a charm. It really does. And actually that answers kind of what Sailor's question was, can you get samples to take back with you and analyze it? Absolutely. Some of them are free. But if you want more than just one sample to take back, you may have to pay for them, but it's not that much, and you stick them in your suitcase. They'll even deliver it to your hotel, depending on where your hotel is.
So if you say, do you have 20 back at the factory or 25, they'll arrange to get it back to your hotel. And then again, they may say it's a small fee, but you can resell those samples. So, and of course, it's a great way for you to test them, tear them apart, really look at them, and do the research on them.
And so, Ray, about samples, 1 or 2 samples to test, absolutely. 50, I don't know about 50 because a lot, depends, I guess, how big the product is. Also, it depends on if the factory is there, because some of them, they come from all over China, so they may not be able to, but you could definitely get a sample order that they can ship to you for 50 or so. And again, it's about being there in China and letting them understand who you are and building that relationship, that they'll be more likely to do that for you than someone on Alibaba.
Correct.
Yeah. So are we able to take them out of the country, or do you have to pay customs?
Great question, Sailor. So there are 2 ways. We extensively teach you the best ways. So if you have a product, again, if you're filling up one suitcase filled with one item, let's say, and I know, let's say erasers. For a while, they had all those little funky erasers shaped of pizzas and shaped of different food products. If you're going to bring back a full suitcase, you can take the chance. We don't recommend it because if you get to customs and they do open your bag, they're going to say, unless you have a lot of nephews and cousins and kids, they're going to say, why are you bringing back all these erasers? And especially if you say you were at the Canton Fair, that's why you're traveling, there are ways to do it so you can efficiently bring it back without paying any duties or very, very minimal ways.
Right, because there's certain, you're allowed to declare a certain amount as well. And it depends. If you're taking odds and ends of samples and stuff and you have a few here and there, they could be gifts. So you could kind of get away with that. Right. But if you're coming back with suitcases,
full of stuff, But if it's 10 samples, of course, it's your way of testing a product. There's no value to it. You're not going to make millions of dollars just selling those few samples. So customs is aware of that. and they're prepared for that. And so there is, different paperwork that you ask in advance. If it's something with a higher value, you make sure you have that invoice to show customs when you bring it back.
Mm-hmm. And Kim, you had a bunch of samples that you took back, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Not only do I have a ton of samples, but my husband, he delivered. Oh my goodness. I almost didn't have enough room, but people delivered samples. And in some cases, there were more than 50 because they were small items that they delivered to our hotel. And I went back to some of the booths and got samples. And yeah, we took back a lot of samples.
Yeah.
So that's why I always pack a suitcase within a suitcase.
Or you can buy them there for really cheap.
Actually, one year I brought back a folding bicycle. So, and it was just because I made sure I had a suitcase big enough. But of course, customs didn't. I said I used the bicycle when I was there, and I had a stopover, so I got to ride it around. But yeah, again, you just have to be prepared. If you're going to bring back a suitcase full of, don't bring back food products. We go through what you should and shouldn't do, but everyone comes back with samples, everyone.
And that's the best part of it, really. I mean, you think about it, if you're communicating back and forth, and even in the best scenario, like we had with it was 10 days back and forth, and then you have to wait for a sample to get to you. So, even if they air it, it might be here, 5 days or so, and then you have to sit and analyze it. Then you got to go back and communicate. I mean, you're talking 7 days of doing everything. Actually, less than 7 days. Look at in the first day, Kim was done. I mean, you were done. You're like, that's it. I know exactly. Yeah. You did exactly what you needed to. And then it was just kind of going and building relationships and seeing what other stuff is out there. So, I mean, it's fast. I mean, that's what this is about. And being able to have the samples and see, you can decide, like, how many times have you ordered a sample and it comes and it's like, this is not what I ordered, or this is not going to work for me. Then you're back at the drawing board again, right?
And also the great thing is when you're talking to these manufacturers and suppliers, if you do see the perfect product that you love, you get to sit down and let's say the factory director or the person who's in charge of packaging is not there and they see you're serious, they'll say, come back tomorrow at 1:00. We're going to make sure the production manager is here. We're going to make sure the designer is here. And that way you're doing all that work at the show. They may say, let's spend 2 hours or an hour at lunch. Let's go over what details you need. So you can get all that done while you're there.
Ray, I love your questions. Do the restaurants speak English? The ones that we go to, because we like to have authentic Chinese, and I'm not talking Chinese with the egg rolls and the fortune cookies. I mean, real authentic Chinese food. They don't speak English.
No,
they
we'll
do
make
not
sure you
speak
get
English.
what you need. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so they don't. But there are. I mean, we went to Pizza Hut one night. We just kind of, I needed the pizza. So we went to Pizza Hut one night and, it's broken English. But, we're going to give, one of the things when Kim talks about my little checklist and stuff, we have a little cheat sheet of things that you can ask. And a lot of them speak like Chinglish, I guess you'd call it, like English. Broken English.
And we show you the best ways using sign language type thing, just to say this is what you want or this is what you won't eat. But the food there is absolutely incredible. It'll probably be some of the best meals you'll ever have.
Actually, Kim, what did you think of the food?
It was amazing. I tried a lot of new things. I really enjoyed it, and I think that if anybody else is a foodie, that they would really appreciate it because Karen and Neil took great time and effort into making sure that we went to the perfect restaurant, the right restaurant, and just sampled a lot of different kinds of food. Amazing food.
And we will have a list. There'll be a list of restaurants and things that are nearby. You're going to be exhausted at the end of the fair. I mean, it's a long day. It's a lot of walking, a lot of, brain work, a lot of, visual stimulation. When we talk about in our program, and you've probably heard Anil and I talk about in our Facebook lives and some of our YouTube videos, training videos about perfect product syndrome, that PPS. And, we talk a lot about how to avoid getting overwhelmed with products. And I'll tell you this, you're going to get PPS. It's normal. You will get it. You will get that product overwhelm. But again, it's something that we teach in our program where you guys need to focus and we teach you how to kind of get out of that PPS stage. But you will get it. And you're going to be so exhausted at the end of the night that you're going to want something that's going to be kind of nearby. But the food is absolutely
Unbelievable.
And even if you have any type of food restrictions, it's very easy. You're eating a lot of vegetables, fresh vegetables,
food,
seafood. So it's very easy. They know that there's a lot of foreigners coming, so they want to make sure they can cater to everyone. Sailor has a good question. What can you expect to spend on food? Is it pretty expensive? It's very, very cheap.
Yeah.
I'm talking full course meals. It's not like where you go to $1 a scoop here and you don't know what you're getting. It's mystery scoops of Asian food. There you're ordering. Most of the menus, a lot of places will have pictures.
Yeah.
So you'll say,
you'll point,
noodles, you'll see the fish. A lot of the seafood restaurants, if you do love seafood, you're actually going to the tanks and choosing the fish that you want. And they actually just steam it or boil it. It's all fresh. It really is good. And it's extremely, again, you can have more than you're ever going to want to eat. And you may spend $5, $10 on a full course meal. So it's very, very inexpensive. And again, some of the best food you'll have, especially when it comes to seafood. If you're a fish lover, if you're a seafood lover, noodles and
even
and
the
tofu.
Chicken was good. The chicken was
is
good.
phenomenal.
The duck was really good. There were some funky foods. I'll be honest. There was some funky foods,
and you can always
you stay away from.
Yeah, and you can always ask about again if there's any restrictions. We train you with a lot of words to say, I won't eat this or I don't like that, but they'll prepare. You can go to areas where you'll point to, I want this vegetable, I want this fish, I want this sauce.
They understand vegetarians. They understand, believe it or not,
a lot of vegetarians
even
in China.
Gluten-free.
Yes.
But I think everything more or less is, they don't cook, I guess, unless it's bread and stuff with gluten, but they understand a lot of that as well. So that's nice.
Yeah. So it's a great place to really try and when you come back, you'll say, when you go to a Chinese restaurant in North America, you'll say, that's not Chinese food. I had Chinese food and it's nothing like that.
And there are no forks.
Yeah. So
there are no forks.
No forks. So some people bring them along with them. They don't usually, most of the restaurants don't offer them. Some do, but we'll teach you how to use chopsticks. It's you'll be a master by the time you leave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if there are any other questions, please post them. Otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up. And actually, this is our last live event today that we will be doing for the China event. So we're glad that you guys were able to be part of it. And Kim, thank you so much for being here and sharing with everyone. And Kim's going to be attending with us in April too, so we're really excited about that. She's looking for more brands, looking for more products for her brands, and it never stops, right?
You never know what you may find.
Absolutely. So thank you again. The link is up. If you want, you can just click, join us. We'd love for you to be a part of it and take advantage of all the bonuses that we are giving. Also, make sure that you come and visit us over on our private Facebook page, Private Label University for Amazon and eBay sellers. We'd love for you to join us there. And we look forward to seeing you in China.
We do. We can't wait to see you there. Thanks again, Kim.
Thank you again, Kim.
You're welcome. All righty.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Take
everyone.
care.
Thank you.